Hello, everybody. Jason Smith checking in here with your weekly Miami market update. Jason with the Showcase Miami team. It's the end of August 2023. Many of the local buyers who were away on vacation from mid-July to mid-August, it seems, we had a lot of them on vacation, not here in Miami. And I'll tell you, the phones were a little bit slower during that time. We're noticing more phone calls, more showing requests now that school has started up here in Miami. Buyers are back in town. One of our big listings just went under contract over on Key Biscayne. We had that one on the market for 6 months, waterfront property for 9.5 million. Spanish buyer is purchasing that property. So that's heading towards closing. That happened in the recent weeks to share my point with you. So today we're going to be talking about Coconut Grove, specifically Coconut Grove condos. We don't speak about condos so much in these Miami market updates, but it's worth speaking about, especially in Coconut Grove. It's a very healthy market from what I've seen. Lots and lots of demand from buyers coming from all over the country, from the Northeast, from California, downsizing from their bigger houses here in Miami, moving to Coconut Grove. So the question is, why do they like Coconut Grove? I wrote down no car needed on the weekends, walk to everything, restaurants, bars, boutiques, cafes, movie theaters, parks, yacht clubs, sailing club, you name it, all kinds of activities. It's not in a flood zone, which is very attractive as well. It sits on a ridge, which is about 15 feet above sea level. 15 minutes from downtown Miami, if you go north in a car, and it's 15 to 20 minutes from Miami International Airport. So it's very centrally located, right up onto Biscayne Bay is the eastern boundary of Coconut Grove. It was a very popular location back in the 60s and 70s for artists, and it developed a very eclectic vibe early on. Lots of lush vegetation, a very popular part of Miami. In recent years, it's really transformed because of the lifestyle, because of the ease of living in Coconut Grove. Again, you don't need a car on the weekends. It's attracted big developers who have built these beautiful condominiums, high-end condominiums, such as Grosvenor House by Ugo Colombo. Ritz-Carlton came in with two towers about 15 years ago. Grove at Grand Bay was brought in, and that really upped the ante in terms of the price per square foot for condos. Then the same developer came in with Park Grove. That was Terra Developers by Pedro and David Martin. You also have Beacon Harbor, which was a boutique building right near Grove Isle that really is fetching some great prices as well. You got residences at Vizcaya and Vita at Grove Isle. All of these are selling for $5 million. Some of these condos. So that has really revitalized Coconut Grove, which up until say 2016, say 2005 to 2016, Coconut Grove was it was out of favor, if you will. Before some of those developments came in, buyers and money was flowing to Miami Beach, the Design District, other areas, other than the Grove. But the Grove has had a resurgence in recent years, specifically since Grove at Grand Bay and Park Grove. Since those 5 towers came in and the prices that those are selling for, all of a sudden the infrastructure was revitalized, meaning the restaurants and cafes to support all those people moving into those 5 towers. So it's a very, very, very attractive place. People like to downsize to these houses, to these condos, and they move from other parts of the world to go visit these condos and to live here as maybe a second or third property because of the views and the lifestyle. So Zyrel, if you would, we have a beautiful newer listing. It is located in Coconut Grove, overlooking Sailboat Bay. We just had a price improvement. It went from 2.5 million to 2.295 million, literally a day ago. Zyrel will play that for us now. Thank you, Zyrel. So yes, that's in the condominium called Yacht Harbor, designed by acclaimed architect Kenneth Treaster. He also developed the other buildings in Coconut Grove, including the Mayfair Hotel. Very, very well-regarded developer, architect, I should say. And this one is, as you can see, Yacht Harbor that was there. It's got a lot of land. You got 2 tennis courts. You've got a big pool area. So not only is it one of the closest condominiums to all of the restaurants, walking distance to the restaurants and the parks, it has a big campus, a lot of land. So it's a very attractive opportunity, that one right there. Happy to give you more information if you text or call me at this number right here. So now we're going to dive into, first of all, we're going to look at the MLS. We're going to take a peek at what's available in the Grove, single for condominiums. So the highest you can get is 23 million, and the lowest you can get that's currently available in Coconut Grove is 395,000. So let's take a quick peek what 395,000 gets you. It gets you a 1-bedroom unit, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 574 square feet, walking distance, very ideal location right here, literally 2 or 3 blocks to the restaurants. Saltillo tile floors. You're truly used to living here. This was the first condo I ever purchased. This was back in 05. This building, I should say. So this Courtyards of the Grove is the name, and you can get this for 395 asking price. Here you see the name Courtyards of the Grove. So now we'll take a look at what's the most expensive in Coconut Grove. This here is at the Grove at Grand Bay, one of the new towers that I mentioned to you that was built recent years, the last 5 or 6 years, by the Terra Group. And Bjarke Engels, a renowned starchitect, if you will, from Sweden, designed this property. And the interior was done by Nick Luases, the late Nick Luases, a Miami resident and Coconut Grove interior designer who he's done many projects in the high-end commercial hotels, I believe Ritz-Carlton being one of them. So this is what you can get for 23 million in Coconut Grove. If you're just facing west, facing Coral Gables. Views of Sailboat Bay to the east. Here on the right side, you can see the Park Grove, which was the second development that came after this one that we're looking from within. Here's the second tower of this property of Grove at Grand Bay, which really just, like I said, up the ante. Then you got, again, the 3 towers of Park Grove over here that came after these ones performed so well, the one that you're looking at. Here is the Ritz-Carlton that came before both of these developments, 2 towers over here that came in about 2000, around 2000. So this is 23 million, 12-foot ceilings, what this gets you. And then you got Mr. C's coming up here with the same developer Terra Group right here next door, just to the north of the subject property. But magnificent condo available for you now in Coconut Grove. Okay, so now let's look at the trends. What is the MLS trend saying for the different points? So we're looking at the 33133 zip code between 0 and 500,000, which is Coconut Grove. And it shows you here 15 available in July just passed, 9 closed, and 5 went under contract. So it's definitely, things are moving in that 0 to 500,000 price point. What are we seeing in terms of months of inventory? As we've said before on our shows here, 6 months is a balanced market where neither the seller nor the buyer has the advantage. So anything less than 6 months of inventory is seller advantage, seller's market. So if you look at July just passed, way less than 6 months, 1.7 months, seller's market, seller's advantage, meaning prices are increasing as we speak in the 0 to 500 range in Coconut Grove condos. And it stays pretty consistent other than this aberration from January where you saw 15 months of inventory in that particular month, which was a buyer's market. But pretty much nothing has changed in the last 14 months. It's a seller's market, hard to get in the Grove for under 500. Now let's say we go from 500 to $1 million. What does that look like? But before we change that, price per square foot in the 0 to 500 range is in the 500s, say $500 per square foot is what you're looking at. Days on market, as expected, they go pretty quickly. 15 days on the market was the average in May, 13 days on the market average in June, 61 days on the market in July. The reason for that, in my opinion, would be that condo season is slowest typically in the hot summer months, July, August, that type of thing. When those typical buyers of a pied-à-terre such as this wouldn't be in Miami, they're in cooler temperatures elsewhere around the world. Here, you're seeing how much do they sell for per square, not per square foot, but the sales price versus the original list price. They're selling between 95 and 100% of asking price over the last 14 months. Okay, so there we have that. So now we're going to go to from 500 to $1 million. What does that look like in Coconut Grove? Again, seller advantage, right? 1.6 months of inventory, meaning everything that's on the market would sell in 1.5 months if nothing else came on the market. Same holds true for June, just passed, 2.2 months, seller advantage. May, seller advantage. April, to my point earlier, that there are peak seasons for condos, especially when we're in peak season, which pretty much one could argue is November to April. And April was the culmination of it all. That was when you had the most frenzied seller market before it starts to get warmer as we head into the hot tropical summer. And some of those tourists go to other parts of the world. Half a month of inventory, meaning it would take back in April right here, just passed. In April, it would have taken half a month, 2 weeks to sell these 4 condos if nothing else came on the market. Incredible seller's market, which again indicates, what does it indicate? Prices are going up. They're appreciating, they're increasing in the 500 to 1 million mark for condos in Coconut Grove. Amazing, really, when you think about back in May, June of last year, the interest rate hike was in June. So you saw an increase of month, but it only became a neutral market, not even a buyer's market, a neutral market. But since then, it's gone more in favor of a seller's market. Now let's take a look at the $1 to $2 million range, see what that looks like. And by the way, before I do that, I'd like to show you the average price per square foot in that 500, sorry, the 1 to 2 million market. The average price per square foot is $700 per square foot. In July just passed for the recent sales. Before that, it was 5 to 600. Now, what's the months of inventory looking like in this 1 million to 2 million range? It's looking like this. It's looking like 5.5 months, which makes sense. The higher price points, there would be fewer buyers for that product. So 5.5 months was pretty much a neutral market, close to 6 months in July. In June, it was a slight seller advantage of 4 months of inventory, 4 months again in May. In April, it was a buyer's market at 9.3 months, seller's market in March, and then hovering between December and February around a buyer's market between 9, 10 months. In fact, you go back to July, actually May and June of last year, seller market. So one good apples to apples comparison is to compare. Let's compare June of this year, 23, to June of last year. It was better for sellers at 2.1 months, quite a bit less than 6 months of inventory. Let's compare July of this year, 5.5 months, pretty much neutral, close to 6 months, to July of last year. Actually, it's better for sellers this July because it was a buyer's market last July, whereas this July, it was a neutral market. What are we seeing in terms of for sale versus sold? This gives you, so we see 22 units available between 1 and 2 million in the Grove in July just passed. July of last year, 21. So very similar market. What was it in June? If we want to see a three month trend, 20 this June versus 17 available last June, very similar. 29 available this May versus 11 last May. So last May, is right. That was right before they had the interest rate hikes of June of 2022. So that's why all of a sudden you saw the inventory with sellers coming on the market quickly when they made the Fed made the interest rate announcement of the biggest interest rate hike in 40 years, if you remember that headline. That's why all of a sudden you saw the inventory go from 11 to 17 and stay consistently higher than it had been. Despite that, you're seeing, again, months of inventory, neutral market, seller's market last 3 months. So that's where we are with the 1 to 2 million range. What does it look like in terms of price per square foot? You're looking at around $1,900 to $1,000 per square foot on average in Coconut Grove, between $1 million and $2 million. Days on market, what does that look like? You're seeing 23 days in July, 33 in June, 104 days in May, 86 days in April. What are they selling for here? They're selling for about between 81 and 98% of the original asking price. All right, so now let's take a look at the next bracket, which would be, say, $2 to $5 million. $2 to $5 million in Coconut Grove condo. What's that looking like today? So the months of inventory, which is very key. Interesting. Seller advantage. It's a seller's market. You've got these people that want this product between 2 and 5 million. These buyers coming from all over the world and from within Miami. So you've got less than 6 months, seller advantage. Less than 6 months, seller advantage. Less than 6 months, seller advantage. Buyer's advantage here in April 2023. Slight buyer advantage, almost a neutral market in March. And then February, it was a seller advantage. So again, comparing apples to apples, if you compare this July to last July, much better in terms in favor of sellers now compared to sellers of last year, 2022. And we know the reason for that is because that was immediately after the Fed interest rate hike and the negative news surrounding that as the market adjusted to the new normal of interest rates. So that gives you perspective there. Now let's look at June versus June of last year. Again, still better in terms of seller favor than it was last year in June. And take a look, if you take that whole interest rate hike out of the equation, because the news hadn't been announced yet in May of last year, it was 3.7 months of inventory, seller advantage, compared to 3.5 months of inventory, seller advantage this May of 2023. So between 2 and 5, that's why I'm telling you, the Grove condo, it's a very hot market, seller advantage. People want to be here in this type of product. Now let's take a 5 million to 10 million Coconut Grove condos. Now we're starting to see more inventory, more of a buyer, which makes sense. 5 to 10 million, fewer buyers exist for that type of product. 10 months of inventory, buyer market in July, buyer market the month before that, buyer market. It was a neutral market in April at peak season for condo. Then 11 months of inventory. Let's compare that to last year. July of this year, 10 months of inventory. July of last year, 7 months of inventory. So the trend is more in favor of buyers now than it was a year ago. Take a look at June, 11 versus 7 months. Take a look at May, 13 months versus 2.5 months last May of 2022. So what's the average price per square foot look like in the 5 to 10 million category in the Grove? You're looking at 2,000 per square foot. The month before was 1,240 per square foot, 1,700 per square foot. So let's say between 1,500 to 2,000 is what we're looking at. Days on market, 58 days in May, 94 in April. Looks like 86 in March. And then if we look here at the next bracket, which would be 10 to 20 million in the Grove, which we have plenty of them, as we just saw when we did our MLS search there. 10 to 20 Coconut Grove condos only. Then you're seeing months of inventory in the Grove, seller's market. There's not too many of those, and they are moving. 2 months of inventory, 3 months, 3 months. Those are special penthouses, that type of product, unique product, positioned in the 10 to 20 million category. So it's probably not as big enough sampling. Let's take a look to see what kind of sampling that is. How many are there that have sold in the 10 to 20 million range in the Grove? If we go to MLS, I think you can see, Zyrel, do you see my MLS here?
Yes, Jason.
Thank you. Okay, so we're looking at closed sales, let's say in the last 365 days in Coconut Grove, between 10 to 20 million. Price. There have been 5 sales. Actually, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales in the last year, and this is what they look like. So Grove at Grand Bay, which we showed you, open decorator ready, open floor plan, 17.75. That was a 9,500 square foot unit. Then there's another sale for 17.5 in Park Grove, same developer that came after Grove at Grand Bay. That one was on the market 314 days. That was 6,900 square feet. 17.5 is what this traded for within the last year. Now, if we look at the next one that sold, this was actually for the land itself. That wasn't for a unit. That's not for a condo. That was a townhouse development. Here's one from the Ugo Colombo Grosvenor House. That was one of the predecessors that was built back in 06, about 20 years ago. Very, very well-regarded developer and building. Looking over Dinner Key. That one sold, traded for 12.55, and it was 7,000 square feet. 56 days on the market. And then you have one here at the Grove at Grand Bay, the twisty buildings, as we like to call them. That one sold for 11 million at 4840 square feet. Days on market 140. So that gives you a little sampling right there. And finally, yeah, basically then you've got 2 units that are available, 20 million or above. So it's not a very statistically significant sampling, but we saw those earlier. So if you have any questions, if I can be of any help anywhere in Miami, any price point, condo, single family, townhome, please reach out to me. You've got my number right here. I'll be happy to share, give you my 2 cents, share with you my 22 years experience, what the trends are for your particular product, and we can go through this exercise here. And Zyrel, if you wouldn't mind, just stay tuned for our next one. Zyrel, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate that. Hey, everyone, don't forget to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you'll be updated of our next market update. Leave a comment below and tell us what Miami neighborhood you want us to feature next. Back to you, Jason.
Thank you, Zyrel. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week for our next Miami market update. Visit us at showcasemiami.com whenever you want. In the meantime, take care. Bye.